begin with a cemetery saga. It's an update to a 9 News investigation for families and the Zachary Public Cemetery. Now tonight, at a meeting, some answers to questions from family members taking place, and our Karen Chawla was there to find out. You covered this story from the beginning with the IT. Find out if families did get some answers.
And Andre, those families were actually still looking for some of these answers. Now, back in October, we first introduced you to this cemetery and the problems that some of these loved ones are having. Since then, the cemetery is not taking any more burials, but they found that news out this week. In October, we introduced you to Pearl Richardson's family. They say they cannot find her burial location at the Zachary Public Cemetery. Her sister tells the I-Team after digging up 4 different locations, they found a white casket and said it was Richardson. Now, 2 months later, we found this nameplate.
We had notified that we found out was that her body yet or not. They just put that there because they digged up a white casket.
Plus complaints from other families of missing burial records.
I can't go out there and put flowers in their grave if I don't know what they're going to start looking at.
Other concerns, loved ones allegedly buried atop others. Or in another case, one person buried in 2 different locations. So the I-Team asked the Zachary Cemetery Board President, Bobby Snowden, is it true that people are buried on top of each other?
No, that's not true. The burial records are limited, I'll say it that way.
Is the cemetery shut down?
No, it's not shut down. It's open. We're burying people there all the time, on a daily basis.
But according to this letter sent out to area funeral directors by Faith Stewart with the Zachary Public Cemetery on November 7th, no new patrons will be buried there in November, December, or until further notice. But there are some exceptions to that. Plus, the I-Team reviewed copies of checks made out to the Zachary Public Cemetery in the amount of $600, $700, and more. That money went to, quote, a grave and opening and closing of that grave. How much do you charge for burials?
For burials, we charge for opening and closing of the grave, and a small sum to maintain.
How much is that?
$600.
But then inside the meeting, Snowden changed his story, telling loved ones,
Not a single plot in that cemetery since I've known him at being built has been sold.
And while the meeting was heated at times,
Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
these loved ones just want one thing.
Double closure. I want to find my sister.
Now, the Attorney General and Louisiana Cemetery Board launched investigations after our story back in October. Both of those investigations are still ongoing.
Which means you'll have more to report
Most
with
probably.
their findings come out.
Yes.
Thanks, Karen. Appreciate it. We've got